Okay, so hey Rob, how you doing? I figured that I could give you some random videos with some random stuff in it, or I could give you screenshots and stuff like that. But I figured, you know, what I'm going to do is let's do this properly. Let's do a video for you and show you what's going on while I'm playing the game. Also, I thought about this in the middle of the quest and in the middle of a mob-infested area, which was possibly not the best idea, which is attacked quite a lot at the moment, but hopefully it shouldn't be too difficult for me to get out of this as I... Oh, okay, it sounds like I'm about to die. This is not good. This would be a brilliant start to the video, wouldn't it? Ah, here we go. So, okay, so I've died, so I suppose I can explain how this works. Fact of the matter is, I'm not desperately sure. As you can see, there are two options here, Soul Walk and Respawn. I've always done Soul Walk up till this point. I'm going to do it again. My understanding of Soul Walk is that you have the ability to walk away. You've got 10 seconds or so to be able to walk away from where your body is, get to somewhere safe, and then you pop back to life. My understanding is that you can only do this once per hour, though, and if I was to die again before the next hour is up, then I'm not going to be able to do that, and I'm going to have to respawn. I'll cover that as and when I get to it. So I'm just going to reapply a couple of buffs here. I think I've also got something in my bag which might increase my dexterity, so I'm just going to select myself and give myself some dexterity for the next hour. And now I'm going to summon my beast. Now I said before, I'm a hunter, and the thing I really like about this is my ability to set my pet onto the mob, let them take all of the aggro, and then I can stand back and shoot from afar. That's something that I really enjoy doing. I've got two pets so far. I've got the Razor Beast, which I've had since the start, and I've got a couple of levels ago. I actually prefer the Razor Bat because in my experience it seems to be able to keep the aggro far better than the Direwolf does, which is a good thing. It takes 8 seconds to summon. I believe I can summon it any time I want to, and as you can see I've then got additional kind of information about them down here. So this is typical kind of strategy. Send the mob in first, start doing my attacks. Each of these different attacks down the bottom here do different things. As you can see, most of them, all of them, will actually provide a little skull next to the mob that I'm attacking. Now, they're combo shots, and I don't know if this is a rogue specific thing or quite what, you know, whether or not other classes have a similar system or not, I don't know, but essentially what it means is that this here gives 2 combo points, this gives 1 combo point, all of these give 1 combo point each, and then what you're able to do is then use essentially finisher moves, which then do different amounts of damage based on the amount of combo points that you've actually inflicted. So as you can see here, this one will do 123 damage if you got 5 combo points on the mob. This one will do less damage, but it will actually make you faster for 15 seconds, so that's kind of good if you want to, I say, get away, something like that. So that's an interesting little feature, something which I'd never really seen before. Well, maybe I haven't paid attention. Now getting my ass kicked, which is good. I really hope I don't die again. Now the really cool thing there is that the mob has actually run off and has gone to attack my pet, which is fantastic, which is exactly what I wanted, which was because of this ability down here, Divert Rage. I think it's a very good ability. Obviously it's designed to kind of use the aggro for myself. As you can see now, it's all very well. Actually, you can keep your pet alive. I do actually have a heal for my pet as well, but obviously I wasn't paying much attention, and to be honest with you, I'm pretty sure I'm about to die. Okay, brilliant. Right, so died again. Good start, excellent. I only have the ability to respawn, so let's give that a go and see what happens. I've got a feeling this is probably going to be very similar to WoW, in as much as what I'm going to have to do now is, as a ghost, go back to my body and then resurrect it. I guess I can have a chat with this guy.
And to what do I owe this visit?
But I
May the
don't
flame
want to do
burn
that.
bright.
I'll happily go back to where I'm going. Okay. But have you noticed how nice these graphics are? I'm very impressed with how good this looks. I don't have the settings ramped up to max, but I do have quite a few of the settings up on high, and it's running really well. I mean, especially the fact that at the moment I'm running Fraps, and that normally tends to shit out of my FPS and stuff like that. I'm running Fraps and I'm getting 25-26 frames per second, even with Fraps going. Now normally I'd be very upset with something like that, and I'd normally want 60 frames per second because that's what I built the rig for. But to be honest with you, it's an MMORPG. You don't need 60 frames per second. I can quite happily play at 25 frames per second and still be able to play quite happily while this video is recording. When the video isn't recording, I get anywhere between 40 and 60 frames per second. So again, it's not too bad, and I could probably knock it up to 60 if I turn down some of the settings. But to be honest with you, I think I'd rather have it pretty and just survive the fact that it's lower frames per second. Anyway, there's my body. My body is here somewhere. So if I can try to find somewhere safe to respawn or resurrect, let's resurrect on top of this. It's a good place to resurrect. Okay, I really hope that I'm safe here. So let's stand on this bike. Okay, do that off thing again. Doing. Okay. Now, what am I doing? I don't actually know. As I have explained to you before, I very rarely know what I'm doing. I just look at the objectives and then do what the objectives are. Let's just kill this guy. It's a bit too close for comfort. So these are all of the quests that are within the local area. I've completed 2 areas already, so I've turned their tracking off, but I can turn their tracking back on and have their details appear up here if I want to. The other really cool thing is that I can open up the map and then I can click on a quest and it will then tell me where the quest is in relation to where I currently am. So for example, this one's in a different kind of zone or whatever it is, so it then tells me that I need to come all the way over here to do it. You also see here that there's a rift occurring here, so I think I'm then able to go there and take part in what's going on, but I'm not going to for the moment because I'm in the middle of doing something else. I've also got another quest here which is Unwelcome Guests, which is daily, and it's here to kill rift creatures, I think. So I guess if I was to go to this rift that's over here, I could kill 10 creatures and then I would get that quest. But I think the fact that it says daily possibly means that I have to do it today, otherwise I'm going to lose it. I don't desperately know. Anyway, I'm focusing on these 2 quests here because I'm in the area for them, and it should be relatively easy for me to go through and complete these. Okay, so let's grab this. Okay, another thing that I really like about this is that I mouse over a creature, and then down the bottom, just above my pet's toolbar, you can actually see that this is associated, in this area down here, you can see that this is associated with a specific quest and how well you're doing on that specific quest. So I can then just have a scan around, look at all of the different mobs in the area and see whether or not they're going to do what I want them to do. Admittedly, the interface that I've got at the moment is not the default interface. The default interface is a lot more kind of interactive and kind of spread out over the screen, whereas this one, everything is kind of focused down in the bottom half of the screen with very little actually in the top half of the screen, and I guess that's because they reckon most people are going to be looking down there anyway, so you might as well put everything there. This, for example, was up here before. If I select a mob, this one was kind of over here somewhere. There are a lot less chat windows. There's only one chat window, but the most important thing is that there's only one action bar, and I think I'd spoke to you before and complained about that, so this is why I've downloaded the additional interface so that I've then got additional toolbars over here for the less kind of important actions. that are available for like my buffs and my various different pet related things. So that's why I've done that. So again, very similar to WoW. I think it even uses the same scripting language that WoW uses to provide that functionality. And I'm kind of glad that it's there. I'm glad that I've got the ability to customize my interface. I said that I was kind of very interested in this game as kind of a new garden. And I think the main reason for that is because the Noob Garden was designed in such a way to take you from one place to another very, very quickly. You didn't spend, you go and find a creature, you go and find an NPC, you get the quest from them, you go and complete the quest, you go back to them, they say thank you very much, go to this person, and then you're off to a different area and you're dealing with different mobs and stuff, and so that was all very good. It was also very much tailored to kind of me and kind of talking about the fact that I'm kind of the last group of the people, so on and so forth, and it's like, well, okay, that's great for kind of building me up, but in the back of my mind, due to the fact that this is an MMORPG, I know that every other person that's playing this game is going to have exactly the same backstory, and it makes me feel a little bit kind of disingenuous. I think that's the right word. It's like, you know, come on, Neo is the one, Jesus as it were is the one. It's not like everybody has been born with Neo's ability, or everyone's been born with Jesus's ability, and you know that seems to be what they're talking about here. As I also explained in my video previously, there were two main factions, the Guardians and the Defiants, I believe. The Guardians, so far as I can tell, their backstory is that they're basically, I think the gods actually resurrected them for the purpose of trying to help with the whole kind of rift evilness that's going on at the moment, and so they basically suck up to God and the gods and do whatever they tell them, whereas the Defiants, which is what I'm playing at the moment, they're a bit more kind of technological based, and I believe the whole idea behind them is that they believe in doing things for themselves, solving their own problems. They're not gonna rely upon God to do the work. They're happy to do it themselves. So obviously, with me being a militant atheist, it was quite obvious which faction I was going to go for. Because of this, I don't know what the background story for the Guardians is, but I imagine it's possibly very similar to the background story for the Defiants. I don't think I'm giving too much away by telling you this, because obviously this is something that you learn within the first hour of playing the game anyway. Ultimately, you start off in the future. I believe that the Rifts have already kind of essentially taken over and destroyed everything. So the backstory is that we've developed technology which allows us to go back in time, but only as far back in time as when the time travel device was first built. Hopefully that's enough time to be able to go back and actually do what needs to be done in order to try to prevent this hell-like future from happening. Now that reminds me a little bit of Guild Wars, only I think Guild Wars worked in the other direction. I think that with Guild Wars everything was all fine, happy and dandy in the Newbie Guardian in the past, and then you kind of, it's several years later after long battles or whatever the story was, and then you're then in the thick of it. I'm not, again, due to the simple fact that I know that everyone's going to have exactly the same backstory, I'm kind of a little bit, why, you know, how is this even going to be possible? How am I going to actually save the world? I don't know, it's going to keep on going. At what point does time catch up with itself? At what point does that future actually happen? But then I guess in theory those are kind of minor points that probably aren't actually that important, and it's probably just me, you know, nitpicking for the sake of nitpicking. So yeah, anyway, here's another glowing thing which I need to collect for my quest. So, okay, I guess I'm not allowed to collect that because they're horrible. Oh look, 6-pack draw. I've seen him and spoke her around a couple times before. I've actually spoken to them though. Seems to be a couple a level higher than me. which is groovy and all of that stuff. I don't know how kill stealing and stuff like that works in this game. I've tried my best to be respectful and the typical kind of MMO, if someone else is attacking something, then kind of leave them to it. I guess it could work in a similar way to WoW, where whoever gets the first hit gets kind of the loot, so that means that even if I was to go and start attacking someone else's mob, they're not going to be upset with me because they got the first hit, and so they're the one that's going to get the credit and reap the rewards as a result of that anyway. Although saying that, let's just go here and shoot this person and see what happens. Okay, so no looting ability. I don't know if I got any experience for that. I wasn't paying attention. Maybe if I look at this video when I'm done, I can see whether I did or not. Anyway, I think I'm almost done. I need to kill 2 more of these skeleton things, and then when I've done that, I can head back to the quest givers and hand out quests, which is awesome. Oh shit, my mob died. Okay, now what do I do in this situation? Do I summon another mob and hope that I don't die while I'm summoning it, or do I try to run away? I haven't really explored this too much. You may have noticed, obviously, that when you may have noticed when I was dying, the screen was going black and white, and there was a very loud heartbeat sound. Do something similar to that for the mob. Otherwise, to be honest with you, I'm probably just not actually going to pay attention and realise that it's actually happening anyway. Okay, I need one more skeleton. Is that a skeleton? Nope, that's a player. Any of you? Ah, there's one. Let's go and kill you. Okay, let's triple him first. Now, another thing that this game does, as all, or at least any decent MMO does, is crafting. Let's work out where I need to go to hand these in. Turn that off. I'm not going over there yet, and you want to go over there? Ah, okay. We'll go to this one then. Set myself a waypoint. Pay attention to what's going on around me. I'm going to go there because there's a crafting station, so I can show you how that works as well. Hopefully I've got enough materials to actually craft something worth. I think I'm also going to do a little bit of a suicidal leap as well to try to avoid any aggro. What's going on here? Ah, okay, I guess I can't leave yet. I guess there's still another quest that I need to complete. And if I actually paid attention, then I would know about all of these things, but clearly I don't pay attention to storylines, so I just follow quest markers. I think what I probably need is someone like you to actually play the game with me, so to interpret what's going on. I'll let you be the person that pays attention to the storyline and everything. Over Skype or whatever, you can tell me the reason why we're killing these mobs, and they'll be, oh, that's nice. Either that, or they can hurry up and get decent voice synthesizers so that I can, maybe just listen to all of the fluff rather than having to read it all. As I think I'm not desperately good at reading stuff. Okay, I don't need to kill any of those because I've already killed them, so I'm just going to try and get to the point. I think the point is up here. This looks like it's on fire. Oh, okay, yeah. Now this needs a specific quest item in order for me to complete the task. Now, the quest item is listed here on the side here, and I can actually click on this, and it will use what it needs to use to complete that item. I'm not sure if that exists within my... What's going on here? Do I need to kill you? Ah, let's kill you. I don't know if it actually stores it in my inventory as well or not, but at the very least it means that the quest item that I need to use for a particular thing is actually there in the quest log, happy for me to So that's another thing I like. As you can see, the bag system, bags here, as you can see, the bag system again is very similar to World of Warcraft. You have 5 different bag slots, and then you've got the ability to find bags. Oh, the mob's dead again. You've got the ability to find... What was that? I should really pay attention to what's going on. Never mind. You can buy larger bags, so I've spent quite a lot of money, nearly 100 gold in fact, buying these larger bags because I was running out of space. Right, excellent. Now part of me wants to jump, part of me doesn't. Let's pay attention to the part that doesn't. Okay, I am going to jump off the cliff, however, into the water beneath to try to avoid... Well, in fact, let's use my camouflaged feature. Because in theory that should allow me to travel while avoiding aggro. I think it also makes me a tiny bit faster. Well, that aggro clearly wasn't avoided. Never mind. Hopefully I can just run away quickly enough that it's not going to bother me too much. This Guardian invasion thing up here, I actually did that a little while ago. I'm not entirely sure what that is, but I think the whole idea is that the Guardians are trying to make way into this area, and all I did was basically go along, kill the mobs that were next to it, and then when all the mobs were dead, I then destroyed the kind of totem or whatever it was that they were standing around, and then I think that was it complete. You know, maybe if I'd paid more attention to the quest logs and stuff like that, I would know why these things happen, but there you go. Right, okay. Let's bring up the map and the quest log. Turn these back on, so where's the local one? It's not that one, it's not that one, it's not that one. It's this one. Okay, so where was this one? He's up here, there he is. I think I've handed in a couple of quests to him.
Are you here to help? Live gloriously, die
Yay, check
heroically.
me out. Someone with a... I think that mount is one that you get for free if you buy one of the collector's editions or something. I don't have any form of mount, and I probably won't be able to get a mount plan in free trial. But it doesn't bother me too much because I can use my fox form if I want to travel anywhere.
Your coin is always welcome.
Let's sell some stuff. Anything with a grey name I think is vendor junk, so I'm quite happily selling all of that. This is some gloves which will actually make me worse for endurance, so I'm actually going to leave them. Now I could sell them to him, but instead I'm actually going to salvage them, which is part of my crafting ability. It gives me the ability to salvage items that I'm not wanting to keep, and then get raw materials out of them, which again is, I think, is another nice little feature. I'm not sure if WoW offered anything like that. I've got a whole range of different kind of crafting materials up here, some of which I've kind of made from lesser materials, other ones I've specifically gone and harvested directly from the animals. The butcher here is very much like a leather worker in WoW. The whole point of the butcher is that they have the ability to skin animals. And then I've also taken another ability.
I have centuries with this art.
Which then allows me to craft stuff using the materials that I've got. So the first thing I'm going to do is make bolts of burlap. If I'm understanding this correctly, I've got 17 burlap cloth and I need 2 of them in order to complete this item. So if I do craft all, okay, so that's I think that's how it works. I'm not entirely sure, but as you can see I'm now crafting bolts of burlap, which is an ingredient that I then need for other recipes. So I've crafted as many of them as I could. So I've now got the ability to make some soft leather boots, and for that again I think I need 2 soft leathers, of which I've got 4, which means that I can create 2 of these things. If we then have a look at burlap shoes, again it's similar to that. I need 2, I've got 9, so I can make 4 of them. And we've got this thing here which needs both burlap and soft leather. So I think what I'm going to do is create both of those, because in theory, because it needs more materials, I'm hoping it's going to give me more experience as a result. Okay, and then I'll finish up by making all of these burlap shoes as well. There we go. Excellent. So now if I open up my bag again, I've got all of these new items, and again I can sell them for money if I want to, but to be honest with you, I think I'm more interested in leveling up my crafting ability, so instead I'm actually just going to salvage them for the raw materials, so that in theory I can do it all again. I still don't fully understand the crafting system. For example, I've got a whole bunch of these cloth squares, and I can quite happily at any time right click on a stack of 5 of them in order to create a salvaged cloth. Now I imagine that I can probably use a salvaged cloth in another recipe somewhere else, but as of yet I've not had the need to do that. There we go, I guess it's the same for this as well. Okay. So yeah, I think I'm probably going to leave it there. Now, oh no, actually before I do that I'm going to show you the water, because I think the water looks absolutely beautiful. Look at this, you can... I've got quite a far draw distance. I could turn the draw distance up even further if I wanted to, but I'm not going to. But just have a look at this. Go under the water and, you know, that's all fine. But it's kind of when you're above the water, if I can get back up, that I think it's just so beautiful. Look at the detail kind of over here. As you can see, it's such beautifully kind of clear water that you can see down to the bottom, and it's just... I'm just very, very impressed with the quality of the water. I remember kind of... Obviously WoW's an entirely different beast, but I remember WoW had pretty shitty water if I'm honest with you. Oh, look at that, there's a rift over in the distance. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop recording now so that this video file isn't too large, and I'm then going to go over to the rift and then start recording again and see what we can do with that. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed this.